There's a moment in the Lego movie that was really funny back in 2014 that's terrifying nowadays. The main character Emmet has just launched himself off Lord Business's tower and into the real world, and the audience realizes that the villain, Lord Business, isn't just a generic bad guy. He's the facsimile for a father. He's a dad who spent years building his perfect Lego collection and then loses his mind when his kid simply wants to play with it. I remember watching that scene in theaters and thinking to myself, well, glad I'm not that guy. Fast forward a decade later, add in a marriage, a Lego YouTube channel, and the birth of 2 beautiful children, and lately, I worry that I am that guy. I have the collection of Lego sets in the basement, the organized city with figures in their proper place, the minifigure displays organized by release date, name, even relative screen time. And when my daughter tries to reach for the cafe corner or bang on the display cases, a very unique panic sets in. So today, I'm asking a question that I've been trying to avoid for the past couple of years. Have I really become the dad from the Lego movie? And if so, how do I change that without sacrificing my entire collection? Well, let's start with identifying some key factors that make up the dad and seeing how many I align with. This is the Lego Movie Dad Self-Assessment. Find out how much you align with the dad from the Lego movie. The higher you score, the more like the dad you are. This little quiz should help me figure out just how close I am to being or becoming that character that I've been dreading for the past couple of years. So we'll start with question number 1. You treat your Lego sets like a museum exhibit. You have strict rules about how your Lego creations are displayed, no touching, no rearranging, and definitely no mixing sets. Everything must stay perfectly built according to the instructions. I think I do kind of align with this. I have called part of my collection a museum before, especially the really old pieces from 1930s. The modular sets I don't like rebuilding or rearranging, whereas some of the other sets I don't mind taking apart and using those pieces for smaller and newer builds. But usually if it's a set that I like, I don't really rebuild it. Now I have mixed things in my display cases where I'll have Marvel and Star Wars in one case, but outside of that, yeah, I think this one I have to pick I do. That's 1 point. Number 2, you glue your creations together. You're using super glue, or the infamous Kragled, to keep your Lego builds intact forever, fully committed to order and permanence. This one, I don't. I've never glued sets together before. I don't ever intend on doing it. Not my thing. Next, creative chaos gives you anxiety. When your kids or anyone starts mixing Lego pieces from different sets or building freestyle, you feel an overwhelming urge to restore order and sort every brick by color and size. I don't really think so here. I have certainly played with my kid and building these very weird structures, and I don't mind at all if she builds something wild and crazy. Granted, they're usually with her own pieces and not part of my other sets, so I'm gonna do it does not. You have a vision for playtime. You love playing with your kids, but only if it follows your storyline. Cowboys don't belong in a spaceship, and don't even think about adding a unicorn to the Batcave. This one's a bit more clear-cut because when I am playing with my kid, it usually is her game that we're playing. If Bluey and Mickey want ice cream, great, Bluey and Mickey are having ice cream. If they're making pizzas, they're making pizzas. But then again, that's with her bricks and her figures, not necessarily mine. If it was with my sets, yeah, I might kind of have that urge to keep things a bit more orderly. So you know what, let's go back up a question and let's change creative chaos to it does, but then you have a vision for playtime, I do not. Next up, your Lego office is a fortress. Your workspace is filled with meticulously crafted Lego displays, and you secretly, or not so secretly, spend more time perfecting them than doing actual work. Well, for purposes of my job, I do spend 9 to 5 doing actual work and getting my job done, but in terms of the Lego office, this is my workspace and it has been finely crafted with different Lego displays and sets, so that's an easy it is. Next up, you claim, quote, "This is for adults." You justify your Lego obsession by calling it a serious hobby or stress relief, or a sophisticated interlock brick system. And in doing so, you end up gatekeeping the hobby by declaring your version of Lego better than your kids. Now, I've always said that Lego is more than just a toy. It's a collectible, it can be an investment, it can be a stress reliever, but I don't really think that my vision of Lego is better than anybody else's. For my kid, it's a way to build towers and it's characters that she loves. So while I do think Lego is more than just a toy, I don't think my toy is better than her toy. So I'm gonna put I do not. You're overly protective of instructions. You keep every LEGO instruction manual in pristine condition, filed away like sacred text, and get annoyed when someone suggests just winging it. I've never showed this really on camera before, but I do actually have a suitcase filled with almost every instruction manual I've kept over the years for purposes of if a set were to break, let's say in transit, if I move houses, then yeah, I could rebuild it by the book. Now, that's kind of changed in terms of necessity because LEGO has most of their instructions online now, but a lot of the older sets, I do think they're kind of collectibles to some degree, so for this one, I do have to click I am. Next, you lecture about proper building techniques. You've given a speech about the importance of following the instruction booklet step by step to ensure structural integrity, even if for a simple LEGO car. So I don't really preach it all that much. I have helped my kid build stronger towers and trains because it can be frustrating for a kid if they're building a very tall tower and because they don't know how to build one, it falls over. But I'm not really sure there's a wrong way to build Legos in terms of illegal versus legal building techniques or stronger sets versus weaker sets, so I'm gonna put I do not. Next question. You struggle to let go of control. When your kids want to take the lead on a LEGO project, you hover nearby, itching to fix their wobbly creations or suggest better ways to build. Yep, this is more like what I was talking about in the last question. While I don't really care about the proper building technique, I am always kind of there watching my child if she is to build a tower, and if I do need to help out with making it stronger because I know it helps her and it also helps build a better tower. So that's an easy I do. And last question. You divide and separate your LEGO builds from your kids' LEGO builds. You love what your child builds and you love what you build, but you love to keep them away from each other. This one I am entirely guilty of. I have my sets down here in display cases. I have my kid's LEGO bricks upstairs in her playroom. Sometimes she brings her bricks down. Very seldom will I bring my stuff upstairs. So for this one, I have to click I do. So looks like I scored a 6 out of 10, more than halfway there to becoming the dad from a LEGO movie. That's more than I expected now, and certainly more than I expected 10 years ago when I first saw the LEGO movie in theaters. And honestly, I'm a little bit shocked and scared that I'm transforming into the literal antagonist from the LEGO movie, one of my favorite family films based on one of my favorite toys growing up. However, there is one big difference between me and Lord Business, and it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with my kids. And that's the fact that, as of this recording, my oldest child is only 2.5, and Finn, the kid from the movie, is 8. In other words, I have 5 years to change my fate, 5 years to avoid becoming full-on Will Ferrell dad. So I may not be Lord Business yet, but I'm certainly bound to that future unless I plan and act now. What do I do though? Well, I think it's time to reconfigure and reevaluate what this room stands for. Not just for my display or my building or her display and her building, but collaboration. I have 10 ideas, and these don't all need to be tried, but certainly a handful can make a world of difference. Number 1, Swappable Play Zones. One day, it's your carefully arranged LEGO city. The next, it's a pile of bricks with ponies and mech suits or headless figures. In other words, you're planning for flexibility over final form. If I don't have room for that, I could try idea number 2, a central building area. So when I buy a new set, I'd build it at that table to show that it's not just for Duplos or for kid bricks, it's for anyone that wants to build. It'd be a way to teach my child not only how to share, but how to keep things to ourselves too. Dad's not going to try to adjust or fix your set, and in turn, the kids won't add on to dad's sets without asking. But it's not just the building process that would be shared, as idea number 3 are shared shelves. Let her rearrange her minifigures however she wants, even if they all face backwards or have no heads at all. Another option for displays could be idea number 4. Designate a yes shelf. A shelf where anything goes. Bunny-headed stormtroopers? Sure. Upside-down Hogwarts? Why not? It shows not only the power of creativity, but the joy in being proud of your creations. But it's very important to show that displays are not permanent. You always have to fight with space. I do it every day when I add sets to this room. So I should consider idea number 5, a rotating display table. Think of it like a LEGO version of artwork on a fridge. By elevating her builds as the same level as mine, I'm showing that her stuff is no less than what I build, and my stuff is no better than she builds. And if she wants to take that idea of pride even further, idea number 6, custom signage or even naming her section. Add a label that says Lego by her name so that she owns it. Maybe she can even name her own sets or displays like Minifigure Dance Party or Headless Wiggles. It's not really important what method of display we use, more that you use it together and that you both get the same joy and pride of putting your creations on display. What about idea number 7? Start co-build sessions. Instead of building side by side, try building together. Her imagination, your structure. Now, this is very different than letting your child dictate the build process, as currently it's, Dada, build trains with me please, and that's what we're doing, we're building trains. But as she gets older, maybe she'll want to collaborate more with me on different sets, different ideas, so we can bounce off each other and build the best possible thing. And this co-building could be strengthened with idea number 8. Make chaos part of the game. Create a box of creative random build prompts like make a flying birthday cake, build a house for a worm. Let randomness drive the collaboration. That way both your ideas and her ideas have equal value, because really anything goes towards the common goal of building whatever wacky idea you pull out of that box. But what about idea number 9? Have rebuild days. Sometimes you take things apart together. Break up old builds, make space for new ones, and teach her that the destructive process of Lego can be part of the fun, almost as much fun as thinking of what to build next with those pieces. This goes against the idea of Lego always being a permanent fixture and this room a museum, but this might also be a tough balance to strike, as your kid might not want to take apart one of their favorite sets. It's the same way I wouldn't want to break apart my cafe corner or my Avengers tower. So instead of forcing either of us to only build or only take apart, show your kid that you can keep things intact or you can take things apart for bigger and better things. It's all about the choices you make with Lego rather than being forced into a certain Lego role. The more options and paths you present for her Lego journey, the easier it is for idea number 10. Let her forge her own Lego identity. As this room becomes more of a shared spot, it might be tempting for me to push my child, either unconsciously or consciously, into the direction that I feel about Lego, in my case being a collector. However, I want my kid to have her own experience with Lego and find the things that she loves the most, whether it's just building, whether it's displaying, whether it's building towers only, or cars only, or sets, or Harry Potter, or modulars. Whatever she picks, I want it to be her choice. Strike that, I need it to be her choice. Looking back at the Lego movie, Finn wanted to share in his dad's passion for Lego, but was forced to build and display in his own corner. But once his creativity was seen by his dad as a more than valid way to approach Lego, they can more effectively share their basement space. And that's the exact position I'm going to find myself in a few years as my kid gets older and older. But going back to the main question behind this video, am I really the Lego movie dad? I do have a dedicated Lego room in my basement. I've organized my minifigures by era, theme, and even screen time. I did score a 6 out of 10 on that self-assessment, more than halfway there. But here's what I'm realizing. It's not about the room, or the collection, or the perfect figure displays. It's about whether I can share it. Because as a Lego dad, that's the trap, right? We build these beautiful displays with older pieces and historical ones, and we start slowly treating them more and more like museums. And when my daughter walks in full of chaotic joy and curious fingers, that tension hits me. I want to say no, but I realize that if I do, I'm not really protecting Lego sets. I'm gatekeeping how to enjoy Lego. The real joy isn't preserving the perfect Lego world or having the perfect display of minifigures. It's watching it change with the ones you love. Because sharing in those weird and wacky ideas and seeing them come to life and watching the joy on your kid's face when she does, that's where the joy of Lego really is. So no, I don't think I'm Lord Business now, but I do have the potential to become him if I don't really think about how to make this space a shared space of Lego. And every time I let my kids build, play, and display things in here, I get a little bit closer to becoming the Lego dad I truly want to be. I hope you enjoyed this video. Big thanks to my channel members for supporting this work, including new member Joel DeCruz. And as always, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.